Hi Jane, this is for you. We're going to do granny squares. You can either make individual squares and then join them all together with a crochet stitch to make a blanket with any colour you like. You can do mix like I did because I've got lots of oddments of wool, or you can do a nice coordinated pattern where each square has got the same colours but in a different order. Or you could just keep going with the design and just get it bigger and bigger and bigger and make one blanket out of an enormous granny square. It's up to you. There's only 2 stitches involved. There's the slip stitch to start and then double crochet stitch. That's it, I think. Okay, here goes. You start off with a slip stitch, so you just need to make a loop. Okay, so you have your loop and then you put your crochet hook through the loop and just adjust it so that it's not too big. I find it easy with the first one to keep my finger on it and hold the tail just so that it doesn't slide around like that as you're trying to work with the first stitch. So if you hold the end and the top, and then the wool in this hand is joined to the ball, and so it goes over the top of the crochet hook and then you pull it through, and that's your second chain. We need to make a chain of 6 to start, so that's 3, 4, so over from the back to the front, pull it through, 5, over from the back to the front, pull it through, 6. Okay, now we need to just use a slip stitch to join the 2 ends together to create a loop. So the first stitch that you've done at the end there, you can see there's on the top there's a back and a front loop, and underneath there's, I don't know if you can see that, there's a bump, and you need to get your crochet hook over the bump and beneath the 2 stitches on the top. So just through that gap, then you bring your wool over from back to front, pull it through that stitch, and then also pull it through the stitch on the needle. So that's actually joined that together. We've now got a circle. We now need to do a double crochet. No, sorry, that's in a minute. We now need to do a chain of 3, which acts as the first double crochet. So wool over from back to front, 1, 2, and 3. Now we're starting with double crochets. Actually, it's a double crochet. In the American and English have different terms for the crocheting. This stitch that I'm going to do is a double crochet in American books. If you're following an English pattern, it would be called a triple crochet, but I'm just going to call it a double crochet because that's how I've learnt. I followed mostly American patterns. So to do the double crochet, you bring your wool over the needle first from back to front. Then I put my finger on top of the 2 to keep them together so they don't move. Then you put your hook through the middle of the polo. Don't ignore all the stitches, just right through the middle of the hole. Find the wool that's joined to the ball. Try to ignore this tail. You grab it and pull it back through. So there's now 3 stitches over there. Then the wool goes over from back to front and through the first 2 stitches and off. So now there's 2 stitches left. And again the wool comes over back to front and goes through the last 2 stitches that are on the needle hook. Not needle, that's knitting. And then we need to do another double crochet. So that was one double crochet. Now the next one, over first from back to front, through the middle of the hole in the polo, grab the wool, pull it back through to the front, 3 stitches, bring the wool over back to front, through the first 2 stitches and up, wool over back to front and through the last 2 stitches and off. And that little shell we've just created, so there's the middle of your loop there, there's a little shell coming off it, that is one of these sections. And now what we need to do is to create a little corner before the next one so that the next layer has something to work around for that corner. So to do that we just chain 2. So over, back to front and through, and then wool over from the back to the front and through again. So that's chain 2. And now we need to do 3 double crochets. In the first one we did a chain 3 and then 2 double crochets because we needed to get from this middle circle up to a top point to carry on with the double crochets. So you only do that in the very first one on the round. All the other little shells will be made of 3 double crochets. So I'll go all the way around now.